Hey, what's up guys? I recently took a trip to Montreal and Quebec City, and I wanted to share my experience with you, with the hope that maybe you'll discover something new. The drive to Montreal from Toronto takes about 6 hours, so I stopped off halfway in Kingston to stretch my legs and get something to eat. Hey, what's up guys? So I'm heading to Montreal and Quebec City this weekend, and driving on the way I stopped in at Kingston to get some food to eat. It's about halfway to Montreal, so I'm hungry, and let's just check it out. I ended up going to a Thai food restaurant in the city, as it was the only thing open that late at night. After eating, I felt like I needed a pick-me-up. So I just took a little bit of a stroll around, went to Starbucks, got myself a red-eye because I have quite a bit of driving left to do, and it's pretty late, but I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be good. And just taking a stroll to let my food digest a bit so I'm not falling asleep on the road. That'd be a little bit dangerous. I left Kingston and continued directly to Montreal, arriving at my accommodation late at night and more than ready for sleep. I stayed in an Airbnb last night in Montreal, and this is sort of the neighborhood behind me where I stayed. It was a pretty good experience, and I would definitely recommend. It was cheaper than a hotel and sort of gives you a look into the places that people live. That's kind of an interesting thing when you're traveling. Yeah, it's just this place right behind me. Pretty cool. I would recommend. The first stop of the day was Old Montreal, so I headed out from my accommodation, taking the subway to my destination. The subway in Montreal is different from the subway in Toronto I was used to, having more narrow trains but surprisingly more monolithic stations. So I took the subway to Place d'Armes station, and I'm gonna go check out Old Montreal, get some food, and maybe check out this big cathedral behind me, so let's go. Old Montreal by the Basilique Notre Dame de Montreal was quite busy and loaded with tourists. I hadn't eaten breakfast and was looking around for a place to eat. I stumbled upon this French bistro called Le Chat Noir, and I decided to sit out on their patio to have their Quebec-style breakfast. We ordered the house breakfast with a baguette, cheesy garlic bread, and a classic Montreal-style bagel with smoked salmon and cream cheese. The garlic bread was pretty standard fare, crunchy, rich, and flavorful. It was a good warm-up for my taste buds. The Montreal-style bagel that came next was beautifully presented, accompanied by a salad and topped with some salty capers. The flavor was on point, just what I expected out of this kind of bagel. The capers added a nice salty snap that I had never tasted on a smoked salmon bagel before. All in all, it was a satisfying breakfast in a cool spot. I would recommend you check it out if you find yourself in the area. After breakfast, I went to grab a much-needed coffee, and I found it very interesting that the coffee shop I went to was also selling cigarettes, beer, and wine. You wouldn't find that in Ontario. In fact, you can buy alcohol in every grocery store in Quebec, which I really wasn't used to. And I've gotta say that Quebec is a place for food lovers. Soon after leaving the coffee shop, I stumbled upon an interesting-looking charcuterie, and I felt I just had to try. I ordered the house special platter, complete with foie gras. The whole platter was delicious, offering a variety of different flavors and textures. The foie gras in particular was rich and creamy. Next, I took a stroll down to Montreal's Old Port. I'll say one of the things I liked about this part of the city were all of the historical monuments. It really lets you see and feel the city's history. The Old Port had a lot to see and do and was very bustling. I quite liked all the boats moored in the port. There are also a lot of good photo opportunities down there. I tell you about the time I was downtown Waterloo. A little further along the quay, there were paddle boats, a big Ferris wheel, and a zip line. There was even a pirate-themed jungle gym for kids and adults alike. And let's not forget about the copious food trucks serving up delicious snacks. So I've just been walking around the Old Port behind me, had some tasty ice cream, which is pretty good, and now I'm heading back this way into the old sort of Montreal area. Gonna check out some of this. Looks like there's some art and other cool stuff, so let's go check it out. This area of Old Montreal was full of artists of all shapes and sizes, which made it pleasant to walk around in. From painting, to leatherwork, to music, a whole band even set themselves up to play some folky music. At this point, it was getting close to the end of the day, and I needed to head to Quebec City that night, which was another 3 hours away. However, there was one last stop on my trip I just had to make. Hey, what's up guys? So I came down here to, this is a Schwartz's restaurant, which is like a Montreal smoked meat restaurant. There's a huge line outside, which is like pretty crazy. It's late at night, and I just want to try one of these Montreal smoked meat sandwiches. I love them, but I've never had one here, so let's go. Even this late at night, Schwartz's was packed, and I had to wait a good 15 minutes before getting my sandwich, but boy was it worth it. Wow, look at that. So smoky, and there's like tasty mustard in there, and the sandwich is great. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Please thumbs up this video if you liked it, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe if you want to hear about the next few days that I spent in Quebec City. Hope to see you there. Bye!